everybody, how are you doing? I'm doing wonderful. I'm out here crop scouting in the gator again. Oh, we got some pottery to pick up. It rained again. Not a whole lot, but just enough everything's wet again. Let me get the camera flipped around and I'll show you what we're looking at. We're out here where the pumpkin patch is gonna be this year. It's where the corn maze was last year. It is just a little bit dry on top, but it's definitely got some moisture in it. But I was just driving by and I found some pottery. I try to get it all picked up every chance I get. I don't know how many plates or whatever is broke out here in this spot, but it seems right here by the power pole, there's a circle out here that just has a ton of broken pottery. And since we do use this with kids out here for the corn maze and pumpkin patch, see, and here's a big old hunk of broken glass, a glass jar or something probably. I try to do my best with keeping it all picked up. Another piece of glass. The pottery doesn't bother me as much as the glass. I just really hate somebody get something stabbed through a shoe or something. And part of this, you got to be standing at the right angle to even find it. So, something I tend to pick up. Oh, beer can. No, wrapper. Cough drop paper. And seeing we just, tons of this old broken pottery out here. I have no idea. I've got a half a box of it somewhere. It's just, oh, here's another chunk. And it just depends on which way you walk by, which way, if you notice it or not. Oh, here's a chunk of something. Oh, another chunk of like iridescent glass. It's kind of pretty. I should figure out a way to do some sort of a mosaic of all this weird crap we found out here. Oh, that's a rock. I don't find a whole lot of rocks, but we tend to collect them. My daughter, Nora, the 5-year-old, loves to collect rocks. So, hopefully, if the sun stays out and we miss some more rain, we can get something done out here to kill some weeds. So, hopefully we can get some pumpkins planted soon. We're getting pretty close. I'll get that flipped around and we'll drive up here and we'll check out, see how the corn maze is looking. Looking pretty nice out here. It's all bumpy. And this definitely needs some weed killing. We definitely have a couple weeds coming up out here. But it looks nice. And we can see rows of corn. Well, kind of between the weeds. Looks pretty good. Corn's looking like it's coming up really nice. We definitely got some weeds coming. I'll have to get the tractor out, put the sprayer on it so we can spray some weeds. The nice thing about this corn is we always put it wherever the weediest patch is, it seems like, and that way we can kill some weeds out of it, get the seeds out. But yeah, looking really nice. We are going, or this is going to be the corn maze on this half. And then I'm going to leave a driveway here in the middle where we're driving, and I'm going to put the sunflowers over here for our sunflower patch. Definitely got some weeds and some mushrooms and all kinds of crap growing out here. Definitely need to do some work on it. Looking good though. Looking way better than I thought we were going to. When we planted this, it was awful dry. I do have a video of planting. I just have to get it edited. And we'll drive through the orchard. Grass is getting a little tall. I need to get the mower out. Which, if it stays wet, I'm probably gonna start mowing. Driving through the grass is always so much fun because you always hit a bump that you didn't think was there. Alright, now we'll check out the garden. We got beets over here that need cultivated. Everything out here needs cultivated, it's weedy. This is the second planting of it. We get up here, here's some carrots that I put in. It's like 6 rows or something, and then we turn into beets. And they definitely need cultivated. And then on this side has all my lettuce and spinach. And you can tell where I've cultivated with that. And here's my beets that I cultivated first. They need cultivated again. And then you can see where we stopped. Definitely need it. And then we have turnips and 4 kinds of radishes that we've started picking on. I wasn't so worried about getting these weeded because here in another 2 weeks or so this will be tilled in. So that won't be a huge big deal. And then we'll jump across here. And we can go down the middle. We'll do this side first and then we'll come back and do the other. We got the row kohlrabi on the outside and 2 rows of onions. And then we got some more plastic we're putting stuff in, I'm not sure what. And then I gotta till all of this and it is just too wet. This almost looked like I could have worked it up today last night. That'll just tell you, we got just enough rain to mess up my plans this morning. And then I do have, I don't know if I can see them in here. I do have cucumbers in that little triangle here. Let me zoom in so I don't have to get off. You can see the little cucumbers right there. Then we need to do some cultivating out here and clean up some weeds, as it is weedy. And on this side, I have green beans. You can see the rows of them. They definitely need something done to them. And then I do have 3 rows of purple beans. And then I need to till the rest of that so we could put a couple more plantings in. Because it is sketchy. And then we turn the corner. This is all ornamental corn or Indian corn, however you would like to call it. This bay and that, or bed, I should say. And they're looking pretty good for what it is. We have onions and radishes and lettuce and kohlrabi and spinach and all of that stuff back here for a second planting. I definitely need to get something in between them rows before it gets too much worse. About like the corn over here. And then there's the one bed there, driveway, and then a second bed. It is a little bit spottier than I wanted to, but I do know I put a lot of that in with dry powdery dirt. And then you can see the sweet corn rows are up. I need to plant another planting of it. It is all looking really good except for the crap ton of weeds. I need to get it cultivated super bad, but it's muddy. Can't do that. We may actually have to look at some herbicides that we can use. We don't like to use them if we don't have to because they're fairly expensive. But Help me. And then I'm holding over the camera. Trying to drive with one hand and everything. We don't like to use the herbicides, but if we have to, we will. Because we're just not set up for it. We like to use the mechanical cultivation when we can. This is just the weather. There is a couple things you can spray on sweet corn to kill the weeds in between the rows, and we've got a good friend that sells chemicals, so I'll talk to him to see what I can get and go from there. And what it's gonna cost, because gotta keep our costs down, otherwise it just can't afford it. Gotta be profitable where we can. And then we'll come up here and I'll show you the other side up here. I bought this pickup for the tires. I gotta get them put on my Tahoe. We're gonna pull the motor out, the transmission, because it runs. This white Ford pickup's for sale if anybody'd want it, and the little green car. Ask for details if you're actually interested. Then we get up here. This is yellow squash on this end and zucchini on the far side. It's about a 150-foot long row. Then we've got all potatoes this way. They super bad need cultivated. Where I use the cultivator to mark the rows, where the potatoes aren't so bad, it's the middles are just horrific. And they're coming up good enough. I need to get them hilled. We'll get that done. And then we have kohlrabi. We'll walk right over here. We'll just jump off if this thing will stop. These are starting to look really good. These are them 4 rows that we'd put in a long time ago and have been froze like 6 times. You know, they're getting almost pickable. And then we got onions and garlic. They're looking really good, but definitely need weeded again, because everything we need needs weeded again. The asparagus has been doing good. I don't know what this weed is, but it has just gone prolific this year. I'm not sure. We may pick the asparagus one more time, or we may not. I don't know. I really don't know. Because it looks like a lot of it is starting to fern out already. So we may let it just go and put energy back into the roots for next year. And we got the rhubarb, which I had looking really nice, and now it doesn't. I think my watermelons are big enough. We're gonna get them planted, I think, in that plastic. They definitely needed some sunshine, so that's why we got them out here hardening off. They looking really good. Got kohlrabi to plant. And in the tires, I planted some pink blooming buckwheat. And in the middle is broom corn. We thought it'd be something cool. That's in both of them. The greenhouse is looking pretty good. We still have a ton of herbs and sunflowers and a bunch of tomatoes, but I do know a bunch of the tomatoes we're gonna plant. They're looking really good. They are huge. Definitely need to get planting. We got some sunflowers blooming, some zinnias, more tomatoes, our asparagus, we still have some of it left, and we have an absolute ton of herbs. Dill, catnip, thyme, lemongrass, and we'll turn around. We have basil. We have a lot of basil, and sage, rosemary, cilantro, and we've got more of it down through there underneath. Still lots of stuff in here. We've picked a kohlrabi, but I think my potatoes are about done. I think we're gonna have to see if they're pickable. And then we'll run over to the big greenhouse. Let me flick this so you're at my feet. And we'll go over and check the big greenhouse with you. Show everybody what's been going on in there. They are going crazy. And it's dark. No, it's not. All right. Yeah, they're big. And we've been picking a few. Getting some color. Looking pretty sweet. They are just enormous. I mean, heck, we got some of these are 8.5 foot tall in here. We'll flick it around. We'll walk out around the outside for a ways. And these are the ones that we put in late as our experiment. Cucumbers are almost hitting the top. And if I find one in here, look, cucumbers. And more cucumbers. If we can get in here far enough. And more cucumbers. Because that's a nice pickable cucumber right there. We've got a bunch all the way through. These are all blooming. There's lots of color showing up in there. Here in the next week or two, we will have tomatoes coming out of our ears. Not all bad. I'm not going to complain because I kind of like it because it just gives me more to sell. And they are looking wonderful. Oh, I got a little bit of a drip. I'm going to have to address that. But yeah, these are all looking fabulous. And then bell peppers. Almost getting big enough to pick. If I wanted to eat one, we could pick one right now. They are wonderful looking. Every one of them has peppers on it. Aren't they just? And then you look over here at some of these tomatoes. Them suckers are just massive. I mean, that's a handful. Looking, oh, then we got a great big one there. Between the tomatoes and the peppers and the cukes, this greenhouse is gonna be awesome this year. And they are just loaded all the way up. I mean, that's eye level on me right now. So that we'll call that 5.5 foot. That big one over there is probably right at 6 foot high. We got tomatoes 6 foot high in here. Just awesome. And going to town. So that's what we've been doing. We are doing 2 farmers markets a week right now. And here shortly in June, we will be doing 6. That's why we grow a lot of stuff. We are a little bit behind on an awful lot of it. We just gotta have some nicer weather. It's just kind of a blah day. At least the sun is out again. I just wish it wasn't quite as wet. So I'm not 100% sure what the plan is right now, but I am gonna get to work. I also got diff cover put on the Tahoe. Now I gotta find a great big Allen wrench so I can get the cover off. I didn't realize it was Allen wrench. I thought it was Star. Oops. No big deal, we'll get it figured out. And I got the oil, I just got to put the oil in it, and it's done. And change the engine oil in it, which will only take a little bit. It's pretty quick. Then my Tahoe's back together, except for tires. And I learned steel 16-inch wheels off of a 95 pickup. Bolt on my 03 Tahoe but they don't spin. And it's got 16-inch wheels too. Apparently they're designed a little bit different. It drags on the brakes. Oops. But at least I checked it, because that's what I'd run into with them aluminum wheels off that white pickup sitting in my driveway. So, oops. But there you go. Have a happy day. Wonderful. Talk to you guys later, and thanks for watching. See you next time.